Hello everyone, it's Kathy Champion and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. As many of you know, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located here in Gastonia, North Carolina. Thanks so much. Today we're going to do a really fun little project with a pop-up card, and this one right here was done with the bundle called Sweet Little Stockings. And this is the bundle that I did this card with, and it is so cute. You've got all of these cute little sentiments and the little stockings with the critters. You have a dog, a cat, and a little hamster or gerbil. Little hats. You've got just a lot going on with this. You got stitching, but the dies are absolutely adorable. It cuts out all three of the stockings. You have some little things that you can decorate your stockings like I did here. So, but what makes this card so cute is it's a pop-up. So when you open it, I have my stockings popping up inside with my little critters inside of them. And I've got Santa Paws is coming to town. So I thought this turned out really cute. I also used the Designer Series paper that goes with this bundle. And I really enjoyed making this card. I did use the... they were from the seasonal label dies, and they actually pair with the Christmas season, and it also has another stamp set that goes with this, and I got this as a suite, which was great because it came with 2 stamp sets, 2 die sets, paper, embellishments, ribbon. It was like the entire 9 yards, and such a good way to buy your products, because that way you know you're getting everything that goes into that suite. But today we're going to do something a little different, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And I'm hoping that y'all are going to enjoy this suite as much as I did. First of all, it's called Penquin Place, and this is the Penguin Builder Punch that goes with it. And this is such a cute little stamp set. And Stampin' Up! Is offering a free pack of paper. With a $50 purchase, you can get this pack of gorgeous penguin paper. Look how stinking cute these penguins are. Absolutely love this pack of paper. It's very colorful. It's absolutely adorable. So we're going to be using some of that paper. And I want to teach you, before we get started, I want to teach you how to use your punch, because it does like double duty. You can stamp your image, and then I'll tell you what, a picture's worth 1,000 words, so they say. So let's just go ahead and to stamp and punch. I am going to pull in my Stamparatus for this, and the only reason I'm using Stamparatus, you've got some very deep, dark, rich colors on here. And in having that, sometimes you have to stamp more than once, and of course, anytime you have to do that, your Stamparatus is the perfect tool for doing double stamping. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to put it all the way up to the edge this time. And put that magnet on it. And this again, we're going to put him here. Now let's do them like we had them. Let's do one there and one here. All right, let's pick that up and try that one more time. Now we know. You see what happened? I got water on that. Let's go this direction. Make sure that's nice and clean. So I'm going to pull this back over under here just to, if you take a stamp case and put it under your door of your Stamparatus, I'm going to see if I can even this up just a little bit, so bear with me. Yep, that's a little bit better. So I am going to zoom you back out. Because I want you to see me ink this up. So I'm just going to ink. Normally your paper doesn't move like mine just did, but you have to be careful and make sure that you position your paper back where it belongs. So I'm going to ink it again. And again, like I said, this is the beauty of the Stamparatus, is that you can stamp over and over and over until you get the depth of color that you're looking for, and we're just about there. And look how pretty that is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm going to turn this around like that, And I want to do a little bit of stamping. Before we do that, let's take, you know what, we're going to take these off because they're stained or inked. So I'm just going to clean these off really quick. Just a real simple little clean. And then let's pull these off, and I'm going to pull that stamp set back out because I want to show you. You've got hats, you've got scarves, you've got gifts, handbags, a little flag, you got a balloon that you can put a balloon on that, you got snowflakes, you got little antlers that you can put on your and then down here you have a bow tie, you have little eyes, you got feet, you've got you got the double feet, you have the snowbank, hearts, and you have two different noses that you can use. One for him going sideways and one going straight on. So let's go ahead and pull these out. I'm going to go ahead and put those two back in because I'm concentrating on this little guy. The reason I say that is I want to show you, there's his feet. So we're going to put his feet right there. And let's get his little nose. Let's see. This one. Making sure I'm getting it going in the right direction. And if you want to, you can do a a scarf, but we're not going to do the scarf right this minute. We're just going to do the feet and the beak because we're going to do that in orange. So let me cover up my Memento ink before I get my ornament. You'll see me do that before, so you know that it will happen. I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie, which is a beautiful shade of orange. Let's go ahead and pick up. Oh, that doesn't look quite straight. A little secret, if you take your pencil eraser, you can actually move your stamps. And I think it goes like this. But you can actually move them using the eraser. And the eraser doesn't stick to your stamps, so you know how with even your fingernail they'll stick to your finger. With the eraser, they're not so apt to stick. See, I could move it and then be able to pull it up where I want it. I'm going to put his nose up a little bit higher. Okay, I think I got that positioned where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick those up. And then I'm just going to use my pumpkin pie, which is that beautiful orange. And I'm just going to dab some ink on there and then press. Look how cute. Just doing that brings your penguin to life. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I want to show you the two ways that you can use your punch, because it, like I said, it does do double duty. And I love the fact that it does because it makes it very versatile. It gives you two ways of using it, which I think is fantastic. Anytime you can get double duty out of a stamp or a punch or a die, I think it's awesome. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to get my stamp apparatus out of my way. And I'm going to show you, let's unlock our punch, and I'm going to show you using the bigger side over here. You can absolutely, let's cut this in two. See if we can do him just about like this. Nope, not quite. Let's cut him off right here, because what I want to do, this one right here we can cut out later, and I can show you how to do that, but I think we're going to have to whack his head off just a little bit more, and then I'm going to use a one of these little flags to hold him in here, because I need some leverage to get him up in there where I want him. And once you get him positioned like this, then you can close your punch and where you can get him just like you want him. That looks pretty good. And then punch. So there is your little penguin punched out, and how stinking cute is that? Now you can go back and put a scarf on him, a hat. You can do your little hat and fussy cut it. These right here fussy cut so easy, so you can very easily go around this, and you can see just how easy this is to maneuver to get your cut. And again, you can go back and put your nose on this one, or your beak, I should say. And I'm going really fast, so I'm really not taking my time. But you will see that I have some other ones that I fussy cut that I did take my time. But let me show you one other thing that you can do with this punch. You can punch this in black, which I did. And then you can punch that in white, which I did. And then you can build your body of your little penguin like this. You can punch out your little feet in orange or black, whatever color you want to do them in, and you can stamp your eyes on there. So that's another way you can use this punch, which I think is fantastic. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and clean up some of our mess. And then we're going to get started on what else we need to do. And that's going to actually be building our card. Let me do one little bit of housekeeping here. Get that orange ink off of my Stamparatus. And that back up because we're not going to need that. And let's put this up and move all this stuff over. And I'll be right back. Alright, so as I was saying, this little penguin place stamp set, and of course the punch, and I wanted to remind you that if you purchase both as a bundle, and there is a separate number, if you just want the stamp set or you just want the punch, then it is a different price. But if you bundle both of them and use that particular order number, you do get 10% discount. So I thought that would be interesting. So I'm going to show you how I made this card and the pieces that we have. The first thing is I want to show you the card base, and this is made out of the basic white thick, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it's going to be a landscape card. It's our main card base, and then we're going to do our mechanism. The mechanism is going to be a basic white, not the thick, just a basic white piece of cardstock, and it's going to be cut at 8 by 4, scored at 4. And this is going to actually go into your card like this to make your pop-up mechanism. Now I'm going to show you how we did that. And I have one already cut, and this is what it looks like when it's cut. But I'm going to show you how I did that. Let's bring out our trimmer because this is an important piece for doing this. The first thing you're going to do is put this in at 1 inch. And what you're going to want to do is cut down to 1 inch. So I'm going to bring both my blades up, and my cut blade, I am going to take it to the 1 inch mark right there and sink it and slice up. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Line it up on the 1 inch side, bring your cut blade, and that's the darker blade, bring it to the 1 inch, sink it and slice up. Now to do the next cuts, what we're going to do is line that up on 1 inch, the cut mark right there. I'm lining it up on that 1 inch line all the way up, just like that. And I'm going to come down to 1.5. I think I did it 1.5. Yeah, it looks like 1.5. So there's 1.5 right there. I'm going to sink my blade and slice up. And then we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to line it up on the 1 inch, the cut line. There's your cut line. And we are going to take that all the way up, watching that cut line, and then we're going to do the same thing. Come down to 1.5, sink your blade, and slice up. Now that's all there is to doing that mechanism. Then what you're going to do is you're going to push these in. All three of these are going to push in, just like that. And they're going to want to fold back because that's the nature of this card. So what I like to do is I like to take the first one and bring it right to that score line, the first score line, and then pinch it. And then do the same thing at the bottom and pinch it. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, because one of these score lines is going to go down longer than the other one, but you want to do the ones on each end on the short cut line. So pinch it. Making sure that you're pinching it on that. And another thing you can do to make this work even better is put it back in on the 1 inch and just score it right there. So I'm going to move that cut blade and then just score it in between those score lines, just like that. And then come down to this one and score up. That will give you a score line to fold that in on and make it a little bit easier for you to get that fold. But then when you bend these in, you're going to do the same thing on the big one. You're just going to fold it and fold it. And nobody's going to see the inside of this, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't look neat. This is strictly the mechanism, and nobody's going to see that. So then when you fold this down, it's going to look something like this, and you're going to use your bone folder and get some nice crisp edges on this. That's going to be crucial to making this mechanism work. So now you're going to have a mechanism that folds up and down. And like I said, I'd already done one, so this one's ready to go. It's already been scored and folded and everything's done on it. So what we need to do now is we need to put a piece of paper, and you can glue your paper down first or you can glue it down later. It's totally up to you. But make sure I got the right piece. All right, you're going to need a piece of this that is cut, I believe this is cut at 4, and I'm using the back side. Here's my other pieces. Let me show you. For the front of our card, I'm going to mat it in this Highland Heather, and this is cut at 4 1/8 by 3 5/8, and then I'm going to mat over top of that with a piece of the Designer Series paper from the Penguin pack, and this piece is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to mat on top of that. And then inside, we're going to use the other side of that paper, making sure you watch your direction because you want your little critters looking like they're having fun. And this is going to go down inside of here, just like that. Just like that. So what we're going to do is I am going to go ahead and adhere this, and then once I get it adhered, I'm going to cut with my scissors on these lines. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I think I'm going to use a tape runner because we don't have to wait for the glue to dry in order to cut it. So I'm just going to, let's see, make sure my paper's going in the right direction. You want to make sure when you put this down that it's going in the right direction. And the last thing you want is for your card to be a little wonky. You want everything to line up, and don't make the mistake of gluing something down upside down, because you know we have all done that, right? Y'all saw me do that the other day, and I was like, oh my word, I can't believe I did that, but I did it. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to line this up, and I'm going to go edge to edge. And Making sure I'm getting it just where I want it. I think I'm going to follow the lines down here. Just like that. Once you get that down and you press it really good, then you're going to fold your card back in two, and this is where your paper snips are going to come in very, very handy, because now all you want to do is go in on that line and cut. And I found it easier to do it this way than to do it glue your paper down. And you can do it either way. If you want to glue your paper down and then cut it, by all means, feel free to do whatever works best for you. But now we have this cut, and our little pieces are going to go like that, and then we're going to fold that, making sure we're getting a good fold. And again, use that bone folder and really burnish your fold lines. Crucial for this card to lay. And there you go. There are your pieces, and if you have any little frayed pieces of cardstock or paper, just snip them off with your snips, because that sometimes you get that when you recut. So there we go, that's all ready to go. So now this insert is going to go inside of our card, but let's go ahead now, before we go any further, let's build the front of our card. So in order to build this, I'm going to put some adhesive on this side. And we're going to glue this piece down to here. So I know I just have that little tiny 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So we got that down. Now this piece is going to adhere on the front of our card, but I want to build my scene before I do anything. Now I'm going to show you how I made my snowbank. I took a piece of Balmy Blue, and this piece measures, and you know what, I didn't even measure it, so I'm going to give you the measurements right now. It is 2 inches by 5 inches. So 2 by 5, and all I did was I used out of the stamp set, and I stamped this tone on tone with the Balmy Blue. I used the snowbank right here, and all I done was drop that on your paper. Anytime you're dealing with a squiggly line, what you want to do is drop it and let it take the shape that it needs to take, just like that. And then you're going to pick it up on a block, and I'm using my bigger block because that will give me the size that I need. And if you've got the Stamparatus, you could very easily put this in your Stamparatus if you don't have the bigger block. And then I stamped that in Balmy Blue, and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go back over this because there's a lot going on this card, but all I've done was just ink this up in the Balmy Blue. And then I just positioned it where I wanted it to be and stamped. And then I got this. So, and then I went back with my little snowflake stamp, which is this one right here, and that gave me all of those delicate little snowflakes. And it kind of mimics the snowflakes in this designer series paper because it looks like snowflakes as well. So that's how I got my snowflakes, and that's how I got my little snowbank. And I wanted to show y'all how I did that. So I'm going to lay that piece over. Now this piece is going to adhere at the bottom of this, but before we do that, I want to stamp my sentiment, and I think I'm going to do my sentiment in black because I do want it to actually show up. So I'm using the sentiment out of here that says "Be cool, be chill, be merry," because these penguins look like they're having a blast. So I'm going to take my black Memento, and I'm going to ink this up. Looks like I've got a little pooling of ink, so you know what? Let's get my grid paper over here. Yeah, see, it did. Let's clean that off really good and come at it again. So I'm just going to let it kiss the ink pad. That looks really good. So let's grab our little Stampin' Pierce mat, because I'm using photopolymer, and y'all know that it works so good on the, and I'm going to put this right about here to the edge and stamp. I'm going to hold that because I really want that to get a good image. That worked out beautifully. So let's cover up this ink pad. And I'm going to lay my stamps over here that need to be cleaned. And we are going to put this right here. And then I'm going to bring over all my little penguins. I'm going to show you what I have. These two are going to go inside with the trees, with two of the trees. And then we have some other trees that are going to go back in here. And maybe one right here. We got a couple, and I stamped out the little pole. Now this could be a streamer for your balloon, or it could be like a little ski pole. I actually made it to be a ski pole, and I wanted it to look like it was right about there. Maybe that tree needs to go. That tree can go there. Maybe here. I want the trees to show. So we'll put him right here. We're going to bring our silicone mat over to get glue on all this. Once I get it like I want it, we're going to have another one that's going to be right there. And maybe some more trees here and here. Now we also got to bring our little penguin. So I have the one, I put a scarf on him and his little nose, and he's going to be coming down the snowbank like that. He's having fun. And then I've got one that has his little hat and bow tie on, and he's going to go right there. And then I've got another one. This one's going to be right here. So what I like to do is build my scene. I'm not too sure I don't want these trees on here, and I might have to stamp a couple of more trees. Maybe I might just stamp my trees directly on. I want these to be up here. Just like that. I think that makes a very cute little winter scene. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take everything off and we're going to start building. So for this, I'm going to glue this flat down. So I'm going to use some Stampin Seal Plus. And I'm just going to put like 3 pieces across each end. And then I am going to center that right there. Now I want to go ahead and get this little dude going down the hill. I'm going to actually pop him up on some dimensionals. So let me grab my full-size dimensionals, and we're going to put one there and one right there. And I want him coming down the hill just like that. Okay, we're going to use my silicone craft mat because we're going to use some glue on the back of these. And I'm going to put one right here. And just glue that flat down. And while I'm working with these, I'm going to do the other one. I love this fine tip on this particular glue. because it lets me get into small areas with no problem whatsoever. So that's going to go right there. Alright, and then we're going to need to do our trees, and I want some of them kind of popped up, so I think these are going to go straight down. So anything that goes straight down, we're just going to put glue on the back of it and wiggle it in, just like that. Then we need a penguin right here. So I think he's going to go flat down. He's got some dimension on his feet, so he can go flat. And then this one, I think we're going to put him up a little bit higher, maybe right there. I don't know, kind of like him low. Yeah, we're going to put him down lower. But I am going to put dimensionals on him because I want to pop him up a little bit. So a dimensional right there on the back of his head, and maybe one down to the bottom of his body. And I really do need my Take Your Pick tool. And you know what? I know it's over here because I use this all the time. I cannot craft without my Take Your Pick tool. It is like one of my go-tos. So we're going to put him right about there. Ah, our little card is coming together. So now let's move that out of our way. Get our card down here centered a little bit better, and I'm going to put a tree right there. And let's put another tree. Let's see where I want the 3 trees. I think I want the 3 trees up here. Maybe right there. And we'll do this one here. And then we have one more that can go right there. So let's get this one down. And then these 3 can go up here at the top. And I just stamped these trees, and the 3 I stamped in the same color ink, and I believe this one was the shaded Spruce. And what I did is I stamped full on 2nd generation and 3rd generation, and I think these turned out so cute like that. Same thing here, this one and then that one, same color ink, and I did these other ones in Old Olive. So I wanted a little bit of difference in the color of my trees, because you know, trees are not all the same color. So there's the front of our card. Is that not super, super cute? I love that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to bring over our, before we do that, let's go ahead and put our stuff on the inside. This piece right here is going to go into our card just like this. So you want to get it into that fold just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Stampin Seal, and I'm going to put a good amount on each. I'm just going to run a piece down each one of these areas, and then down on this one, and then right here. Now all I'm going to do to put this in is I'm going to lay this in, get it exactly where I want it, side to side, bottom to bottom, and then I'm just going to fold this piece down on it. I mean, it couldn't get any easier than that. And there's our piece, it's in. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You could use your liquid glue if you wanted to, or you can just use your Stampin Seal or tape runner. You could use the tear and tape, whatever works for you. I'm using this because it's fast. And anytime I'm doing something on camera, I do try my best to not keep the video any longer than necessary. And just as a reminder, all of this stuff will be in my online store August the 3rd, which is about 2 weeks from today. So, and that's when the Sale-a-Bration will also begin, and you can get this paper, this beautiful, beautiful paper for free. I mean, oh my goodness. I'm going to push this piece down, and I'm going to bring these two up. No, I'm going to leave them all down. I want to stamp those trees right inside. So I'm going to grab my little tree, and I'm going to do that first and second generation. And I am going to use my shaded spruce because I thought that made such a pretty, pretty color. So let me grab a stamp block. And pick that up, and I'm going to ink it, and we are going to stamp here and then here. Isn't that pretty? I love the way that looks. So now we're going to pop these back out just like that. And we're ready to put our little penguins on here. And these were two that I actually did the black and white. And then I made a scarf and I glued that on. I put a bow tie on him. So we have almost the look of a little boy and girl penguin. So I am going to stick him right here. And I think for this I am just going to use some Stampin Seal. And I only need it on his bottom. So right there, and he's going to go right about there, and we're going to do her the same way. I'm calling it a her, I'm not sure, but we're going to put this one right here, and then look at that. Are they not adorable? And then your card's going to fold like this, and then you're going to put this on the outside, and we're still not done. We're going to do a little bit more decorating on the inside. Such a cute card. Now this is a Make a Fuss card. This is not one that I think you would want to mass produce, but if you have that very special grandchild or a very favorite niece or your daughter or anybody that you find that's extremely special to you and you want to spend a little extra time and make a card that is super, super cute, one that you took a lot of time in making, this would be just the ticket. So I'm going to go back into my pack of paper because I want a little strip of this to go right across the bottom, and we're going to stamp something else in the middle. And I want something with a pretty font. I love the Christmas greetings and sending lots of love. I love that. So that's like 2 stamps, but that's okay. We're going to use both of these. And let's go ahead and cut our piece first. So I want this piece to go, so I think it's going to be like a 5 by 1.5. Let's see if that's going to fit in here. So Christmas greetings, sending lots of love. So I'm going to put those two together just like that. I'm going to line it up over here on my grid. Just like that. And I think this block will work. And we're going to pick it up. think what I want to do is I want to stamp my greeting first, and then I'll know how much room I have down here for my paper, my little decorative strip. So I'm going to do this in black because I really want it to be bold. So I'm going to kiss my stamp. Like that. And I am going to come, I feel like I need to do this. I'm going to put this on my I'm just going to hold that with some firm pressure. And then we're going to lift it up. And look, I got ink on my finger and transferred it onto my card. It always happens that way. But you know what? It's okay. We will try to get it off with our mono sand eraser. If that doesn't work, then we will try something different. And of course, I've got ink on my finger. So I'm going to wipe that off so I don't transfer ink somewhere else. Mono sand eraser a lot of times will take a smudge like that completely off. So let's see how that worked. Voila! It is gone. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so now I'm going to use my ruler. And this is a rule of thumb for you too. You can always use your ruler to see, it looks like we can go about 1.5. So 1.5 by 5. And I'm going to use my side over here because I know that is exactly 1.5. So I'm going to bring it all the way to the edge. And slice. And then we know that we need to cut this to 5. Now that piece is ready to adhere into our card. Just like that. Love that. Isn't that pretty? So again, I'm just going to go. If you're using the Stampin Seal and you feel like you always have to pull it to get it started, if you will turn your wrist like that at the end, you will never have to pull it again with your finger. It gets it back to the edge by making that wrist action, just like that. So now I'm going to take this piece and we are going to center this in just like this. And press. And that little card is done. Be cool, be chill, be merry. Christmas greetings, sending lots of love. Did that not turn out absolutely adorable? I love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm going to bring both of the cards over. Now you might have to work this a little bit to get it to stay shut. It is the nature of a pop-up card, but what's so nice is the recipient can get this and it can be displayed like this, or they can set it up like this. It is just a really cute card that can be displayed in so many ways, and here's both of them. I am going to run my bone folder over this one a little bit more. Maybe I got a little bit more going on this one. I do, because I have these are popped up. So that's probably why this one's not laying as well as this one. Yeah, these I glued flat down and it's very thin. This one's a little bit thicker. But there's my 2 cards made with the pop-up design. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you were able to gain a little bit of expertise from watching me make these. And you can make any type of pop-up card just using the same technique of putting that extra piece of cardstock inside and cutting your little pieces to the I mean, you could do them as small as 1/4 of an inch, a 1/2 an inch, whatever you need to do them as, you can do that. So, thank you so much for tuning in, for spending a little time with me, and hopefully I have sparked a little creativity in your life. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy of our praise and honor. I love you guys so much, and until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.